Well, I'm joined now by Chris Robertshaw for social care. A press release being issued, Mr. Robertshaw. It looks pretty, well, it's going to affect a lot of people. 70-odd people could be affected by this. You're going to give prior notice of regarding the provision of home care. You're going to start privatising.
That's a very crude term to use, and it doesn't represent what we're actually doing. If we step back from this and start from the point of scope of government, where each department has to look at what it should be truly delivering. In our department, we should effectively be closely involved with research, strategy, policy development, legislation, commissioning, audit, regulation, financing, and the like, and inspection. Doesn't mean necessarily, therefore, that we have to deliver specific services. So what we're looking at here in terms of home care, domiciliary services, is how we can build a partnership with a third sector or social firm to embrace the services that we're talking about here. So at this stage, it's the first toe in the water, talking to various bodies to see if they want to engage with us, because commissioning is a complex process. It is not contracting to a private sector operator. Commissioning is about developing a close relationship which embraces the needs of the clients, the staff involved in this, and the department itself.
Let's just get down to this. You are going to give maybe 70 people their notice who work for you as government and put them in the private sector, and with all the variances that go on with that. That's the plan. That's what you're intending. You're asking if there's companies out there interested in taking on home care provision.
We have been working with the team in home care now for something close to, I think, about 10 months, talking to them about where we're going here and getting their engagement involvement, because it's their part of this process again, and it's building the right model that we need to achieve here, not, as you are saying, and I understand why you would come from that point of view. It's not about privatisation and contracting and pushing out. It's a new form of delivery which allows the department to continued working relationship with that provider, and in the form of and I do hope that it ends up as being contracted by a social firm, because a social firm's aim in life is not to deliver profit for the shareholder or owner, but to actually engage in such a way that any surpluses are turned back into the business for the benefit of all concerned.
I'm sorry, you are trying to save money, right? I mean, you're doing this because you've been told to cut your budgets. Therefore, somewhere along the line, you are going to save money by doing this process.
I think what you need to understand is that all the predictions show that this is very much a growing area, home care and domiciliary care, and we want the right model going forward.
Are you doing this because you have to save money? Otherwise, would you just carry on?
We have to adopt a methodology which is as efficient as possible.
Are you doing this to save money?
We are doing this to be as efficient as possible, and in the process, therefore, we will, of course, wish to save money in the process. But if you suggested or left my room in my office now with the view that this is all about cuts, it's not. It's about the right sort of model for the future, because we fully anticipate that the social firms say, if that's where we end up, and I do hope we do, that organisation will be a growing organisation, because as more of us get older, and we're all going that way, then there's going to be a greater need for provision of those services.
These people, though, at the moment are working for government, therefore they've got all the benefits, you might say, the sick pay, the holiday pay, pensions, whatever. But a private company takes this over, and then you just give that company a lump sum, which we obviously less than what you're paying now.
No, you see, you're misinterpreting, and you're making the mistake that I hoped you might not make, which is to see this as a contracting process, that once the contract's signed, it's game over. It's a process that has to engage the staff as well, so that they're comfortable with the process as well as us, and as well as the organisation itself.
When is this going to move forward? Because this is your first step.
First first step. Then the next step is to look at expressions of interest, and then it will progress through the year, and hopefully we will have made significant progress by the late autumn, early winter.
And particularly looking for a company, you're saying there, that would be not for profit. So that would be your ideal partner, would it?
Absolutely. In the next year, you'll probably get fed up with me talking about social firms, because I want to develop social firms not only in this area, but to bring young people back into employment who've been out of work for long periods of time, and also other provisions at the other end, because as the retirement age moves on, and it's coming up down the track fast now, people are going to be retiring later and later. There'll be more and more people who aren't able to transit straight from full-time work into retirement, because there will be a period of time in the latter years of work where they're looking to, as it were, downsize the amount of work that they do. So there's a huge amount of work to do in all these areas.
When will this likely go forward then? I mean, when I say forward, actually as far as putting
Actually
it in place.
happening?
Yeah.
Hopefully by the end of the year, towards the beginning of next, yeah.
And you're comfortable with it?
We're comfortable we've entered into the right process, and we're comfortable that once people understand what commissioning is, that more and more people will feel comfortable with it as well.